In this video, I wanted to go over one way you can decrease your computer boot time in Windows 10 by simply enabling hibernate. Now, there's other ways to do it. I mean, if you have a SSD, that's going to help the boot time, or disabling other programs that might be turning on when you power on your computer. But here we're just going to focus on this particular one. Now, currently on my SSD, if I don't have the fast startup enabled on Windows 10, it'll take my computer anywhere from a minute and a half to 2+ minutes to get to the desktop. Whereas if I have fast startup enabled, especially with my SSD, it takes around 35 seconds, 36, somewhere in there. Okay, so let me show you what I'm talking about. I want to go on the lower right corner here, all settings, and then go to System. And then over here on the left side, Power and Sleep. And then on the far right, it says Additional Power Settings. And then on this screen here, on the left here, choose what the power buttons do. We'll click on this. And then you notice there's some settings down here that are grayed out, so they're not available. So you could click on Change Settings that are currently unavailable, and you can go ahead and remove the sleep and the lock from the power menu. For example, if you look over here in the power menu, you see sleep, shut down, restart. Okay. And then the lock is on the account picture menu. Okay. So I don't have, at this particular case, I don't have hibernate enabled. So I don't have access to the setting that I just pointed out. So if you're going to do this, you need to have hibernate enabled. Okay, so let's do this. Close this out, and on the lower left over here, we'll type in CMD. That's command prompt. I'm going to right click on this, run as administrator. Click yes here. And then I'm going to type power cfg.exe and then a space and then / hibernate space. Now I want it on. Right now it's off, so I put on there and then I click enter. Okay, so then I close this out. Then again, go back to all settings, update and security. No, sorry, not updating security, system. And then power and sleep. And over here in the far right, additional power settings. And then here, choose what the power buttons do. Click on that. And now you notice that I have some other settings I didn't have before. Because I enabled hibernate, I have this first one checked. Turn on fast startup. Okay, recommended. So that's on, and that's what I'm talking about. If you have this checked, you'll have a faster startup. Okay. So it'll decrease the time that it takes your computer to boot, okay, to your desktop. Okay. So now if you click over here in the power on the left over here, lower left. So now you know it has sleep, hibernate, shutdown, and so forth. If you don't want these to show up in your power menu there, you can uncheck them. Okay. But if you want to have fast startup enabled, this has to be checked. Otherwise, you can click on change settings that are currently unavailable here, And now you can uncheck the ones you don't want. Okay, but now this is checked, so now I have fast startup. Okay, now the only disadvantage to this is what happens if you have fast startup is your fast startup actually takes a snapshot of your files, and it saves them on your hard drive. Okay, so depending on the RAM that you have, okay, you might have 8 gigabytes, you might have 16. It's going to use around 6 to 12 gigabytes of your hard drive. Okay, so you have, if you don't have that much space on your hard drive, you might not want to enable this. Okay, but I don't have a problem with it. I have, I think, 500 gigabytes on my main hard drive, and over 800 on the backup or my second drive. So now it's enabled. Okay, so again, in my particular case, I have 16 gigabytes of RAM on my computer, Dell computer. It's a desktop, and with fast startup enabled, once I click on the power button, it gets to my desktop within 30 seconds. Okay, if I don't have the fast start enabled, it takes closer to 2 minutes before I can start doing stuff, opening a file or Microsoft Edge or whatever, you know. So it is quicker. Now, one thing I want to point out is this doesn't affect restart. Okay, so if you were over here on the power menu and you click restart, that's going to be the same. Okay, the fast startup only applies if you completely shut down your computer. If you completely shut it down and then come back and turn it back on, power back on, then it'll be faster. Now again, especially if you have an SSD drive. Now if you have one of those regular hard drives, you might not see much difference. Okay, but with an SSD drive, I do see the difference. Okay, so hope this helps you out. We'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching.